giants, y'all. We've got giants. Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, yeah, I've been asking for giants ever since they teased that in the Nazca mummy investigation, the research. I've actually shown you the heads of two of the giants that were purported to be among the specimens, and it's unclear if those are the actual heads or if those are reproductions, because we know that those have been being sold on the black market. And we were told that the giants were about 8 or 9 or 10 feet tall, if they were alive. So what is this new post about? Forget about 9-foot tall giants, guys. Forget about that. We've got way bigger giants. Way bigger giants. Okay, from J. Alberto, who is the assistant to 2 secretaries of the government of Mexico, and he has been intimately connected with the Nazca mummy research. He says there is a giant head, possibly tridactyl, among the biological finds from Nazca of a humanoid being approximately 8 meters. Without a doubt, with x-rays, it will add to changing whether or not our human history. The translation's not great, but yeah, 8 meters, guys. 8 meters. That's like 30 feet. That's insane. That's insane. And he's not the only person talking about this. Let me translate. I am aware that there is a giant head, a head more or less than what? About 60 centimeters in size, right? Okay, yeah, and that's the hand. Now, that hand, from my understanding, there were 3 giant hands that were presented, that were the actual hands, not reproductions. But those were for like the 9-foot tall giants, not the 9 or the 9 meter tall or whatever. Okay, this is really fascinating, isn't it? Yes, it is. It even has all the tabs. It has seen everything, but well, only head. He no longer has brain power. He has nothing, unfortunately. It had been and is similar to the heads that we have seen of beings more small. Okay, the translation is bad, guys. Translation is bad. All right, but what does the lawyer for the scientist have to say? The American scientist, John McDowell, well, his son, Josh McDowell, is the attorney for the American scientists that are investigating the Nazca mummies, or at least a group of them. And he is also talking about the giant head. He says, in my last article, I discussed some big news about other types of bodies that were found with the Nazca mummies. If my readers weren't hit with a stone to the forehead of my subtle metaphorical sling, we are indeed talking about giants. Last night, I saw some posts on X about a large head that was allegedly found with the other Nazca mummies. Let me tell you what I know as of right now and maybe clear up a few common questions I've been getting. What we know right now, it was through my conversations with a longtime researcher that I had learned about a giant head. It was a head that had been decapitated from the body that was found loose in the same cave as the rest of the mummies. To my knowledge, no corresponding body had been located. And there have been conflicting reports. We had heard earlier that there were indeed intact bodies of the giants, of the 8 to 10 foot tall giants. Okay, so I have seen a single photo of the alleged giant head. I've actually shown 2 of those giant heads. But that is not it. That is the mummy Sebastian. He says that the giant head vaguely looks like that. And as I've shown you before, it does vaguely look like that, but with bigger cheekbones and, is obviously a more massive size. The only person who I have spoken to about the giant head who has seen it in person is Mario, the man who discovered the cave. During my interview with Mario, I sensed he was uneasy speaking about the head and was seemingly surprised I knew about it. Yeah, he's probably uneasy because they've been selling these things on the black market. Interpol seizure of specimens. You may have heard that this week Interpol seized a mummy's foot and about 60 other items on display from a UFO museum in Argentina, and I did a story about that. I understand that this was at the request of the Peruvian Ministry of Culture, and that's, kind of what it looked like, right? Who believes that these items were at the museum in violation of an agreement regarding an archaeological discoveries between Argentina and Peru. Just last month, the Ministry of Culture and federal police also raided a press conference in Lima, hoping to confiscate the Nazca mummies. Yeah, and it's really interesting that they raided that museum right when the heat is on about the Nazca mummies. It's one of the viewers of the channel who's actually in the medical field commented on the photo that we have of that mummified foot that was seized, and he was under the impression it was human, and it does. It looks like just a mummified foot of a human, and it totally could be. But why are they seizing it? Why are they seizing it is my question. So we need more information about that mummified foot. Why go to the trouble of raiding that museum? Now, remember Alan Perez Munoz, the researcher that said he has actually been to the site, the Citadel, and saw a bunch of fantastic stuff and corroborated the Tomb Raiders video of them finding the, intricate, the pyramid and all the other elaborate things they were seeing in the tombs, including live beings that they were interacting with and even fighting and killing. And it looks like there have probably been at least one human death associated with that as well, and later beings taken into captivity. If any of that is true, and there's no corroboration other than Alan Perez Munoz that those accounts are true. But we do have the video, a very intriguing video, lots of sets and props that would have had to be manufactured in order to create that video beyond what I think is capable, what Tomb Raiders would have been capable of producing. It would have required a budget. It would have had to have been deliberate disinformation that was put out there. But they didn't do anything with that disinformation, if indeed it was disinformation. They didn't promote it and then try to tear it down, which is why they would have created it. So, really weird video. Still trying to make sense of that video. But Alan Perez Munoz has lots of video or lots of photos of the artifacts said to be recovered from the Citadel, the tomb where the Nazca mummies were found. And among the photos that he has, or had, because his website seems to have been taken down, was this image of a giant skull sitting right next to what I guess is just a regular-sized alien head with an elongated head, or the face of it. It's kind of unclear what that is. But I don't think that this is the skull in question. I think this is something else. This is obviously, in my mind, a human-looking giant skull, not an alien or Nazca-ish skull. So I have to wonder where the heck that image or that skull came from. And again, if these are props being created by somebody, that's a heck of a prop. I mean, it's low res, but that's a heck of a prop. And for what purpose? This is like the only image we have of it. They wouldn't have gone to all the trouble of creating that highly detailed giant skull prop and then done nothing with it. So I think we might be looking at the skull of a giant, of a human giant, as opposed to the alien or Nazca giant. So I don't know how the heck Alan Perez Munoz got this in his possession. I mean, could this have been found in the Nazca stash? It's really unclear. I would love more information about that. So I've actually emailed Alan and asked him, and hopefully he'll get back to me. And here are a few pictures from the tomb, allegedly, taken by the Tomb Raiders. Things they discovered in the Citadel or the Nazca mummy tomb where the beings were found. It's unclear if this is genuine or some sort of hoax or something. But there's a lot of props, and I've made whole videos about this stuff, and you can go watch those. But there's just a lot of props, intricate, well-made props. Lots of this stuff, and go check out my videos on that. But, so who made this and why if it's a fake? This is supposedly the entrance. And here's a few more visuals from the tomb, supposedly. Again, this is, in the same set of videos as the Tomb Raiders fighting aliens. Yeah, I mean, is any of this real? I really want to know. There's one of the beings they are said to have encountered. Is that a fake? Is that a prop? Possibly, but possibly not. Anita, the remote viewer Anita, was seeing a being very much like the being in the headdress in her remote viewing. And I thought that was really interesting, and she was even able to make contact with him. So, yeah, just fascinating stuff. Is this a live being we're looking at? Is this a fake? Is this a hoax? I mean, it totally looks sketchy, but at the same time, what would a live being look like? And, and is he got writing, alien writing, cuneiform writing on some of this stuff? That was the being that Anita was seeing. She actually made contact with that being. It's just crazy stuff they were finding in that tomb, guys. In all these sets and props. So just a lot that would need to have been manufactured beyond what I think the resources of these Tomb Raiders are. So could this be? There's the mantis guy. They're fighting a mantis being in a cave. That looks so dodgy, guys. That looks so dodgy. It really does. But that is a full-size prop, if that's what it is. I've shown all this before. But just to give you an idea of some of the crazier stuff that's out there and some of the crazier possibilities that may exist for the Nazca story. But getting back to the giant in question, the giant J. Alberto has talked about and that Josh McDowell was referring to. Well, okay, so how big is it? According to this tweet, in McDowell's last blog post, Mario gestured that the skull was about 30 inches tall. In human proportions, our face height is about 13% of total height. So that would be 230 inches tall or 5.84 meters in the ballpark of what he's saying. That's almost 20 feet tall. So will Josh McDowell or J. Alberto ever pony up with the giants? Will Jaime Maussan come out with the skull of a giant Nazca mummy in the next press event? Wouldn't that be amazing, guys? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, I don't know if we're ever going to get to see the giants. We've got bodies, y'all. We've got bodies. But do we have giant bodies? I want to see some giants, guys. Pony up with the giants. I mean, people are not going to be able to say it's cake or it's a doll when they're looking at a 10 or possibly 20-foot alien giant mummy, guys. That's huge. That's huge, guys. That's totally huge. And it's not going to be something that people are going to be easily able to dismiss. It's going to be wonderful proof, wonderful evidence that these were once living beings and that this is UFO disclosure. UFO disclosure has already happened, guys. It happened in Peru and Mexico, and it's ongoing, and they are unveiling new specimens to us. Will that be one of the specimens? Again, some of these things have been sold to the black market. I think that's actually why the Tomb Raiders came to the scientists in the first place, was because they wanted to see how valuable these things were. They found them. They wanted to sell them on the black market. They didn't know what to sell them for, so they took them to the scientist. That's my understanding of why they went to the scientist originally, was to help them sell them on the black market. Scientists probably had no idea of that, but they have been fighting those urges by the Tomb Raiders ever since, trying to get, keep some of the mummies for, science and not for the black market. At least one of the giant heads apparently has been sold to somebody in Hollywood. That is what we have been told. We don't know who or at what level. Obviously, my mind goes to certain names, but it's probably some random person I've never heard of. But either way, we've got giants, y'all. We've got giants. But will we ever get to see them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. See the link below. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.